Welcome to Espresso Jams, short, concentrated, delicious conversations about business, life, and more. And now, here's your host, Joe Matz.
Hello, Joe Matz here with another episode of Espresso Jams. Today, I have the pleasure of having Laura Bechard with us. And Laura is a CPA and also the CEO of Provision Business Advisors. And she helps accounting and financial firms stand out, among many other things. Laura, welcome to the show.
Thanks, Joe. Great to be here.
And where are you dialing in from today?
Our firm is headquartered in Calgary, Alberta. So we're up here in Canada, and we are actually enjoying a very nice spring day here in Canada in the middle of 1st of December.
Oh, that's wonderful. That's great. So Laura and I met through a mastermind group that we're involved in, and we got talking about the holidays, and her specialty is with family businesses. And we know families getting together during the holidays has its own unique challenges, exaggerated if the family is involved with a business. Is that right, Laura?
Yeah, absolutely. Great introduction, Joe. So I come by this work really honestly. My husband and I are fourth generation owners of a family business in a neighboring province here in Canada. And we're just working on the transition of that business to our son. So it's been in the family for 115 years. So we've had a lot of experience with family business, both the good, the bad, and the ugly. And looking at how the business often succeeds at the expense of the family relationships. And so my commitment to my clients really is it doesn't have to be this way. We can come to ways that we can embrace both the personal relationships we have as family, and we can also have a business that thrives.
And it's a great time for this conversation because the holidays are coming up and we may be getting together physically this year or perhaps on a Zoom call or something like that. And we don't want to create tension. We don't want to escalate anything that's negative during the holidays, although not everybody is on board with that program, unfortunately. So what can we do?
Absolutely. And many of us will sort of think about the family dinner either with optimism and exuberance, or we think about it with trepidation and fear and avoidance. So it's kind of, and of course, there's the whole diversity in between. And so what we really want to have happen during the holiday season or different celebrations is that we are gathering with friends and family, because it's an important part of many of our traditions come from friends and family that we're joining with over these holidays. So yeah, so the little acronym that we use with our clients to sort of help them navigate through this season is G.A.P. So the G stands for goals, the A for achievement, and the P for process. So before you sort of even, grab your coat or get in the car or head to the airport or whatever, or dial into the Zoom call, think about what your goal is for this family occasion. And I know at this time of the year, we throw all kinds of goal setting around. You're going to be inundated with setting goals and talk about SMART goals. For this, we're really only talking about what's the goal for the next 3 or 4 hours that we're going to be together in a family meeting. And your goal may be to survive. It might be to thrive. It might be to extend an olive branch. It might be to improve a relationship. It might be just to start a relationship. Maybe if you've got new family members, potentially in-laws or new babies or other things that have joined your family. So think about what your goal is. And then once you've identified the goal, the next part of the equation, the A, the achievement, is really visualize what does success look like. How do I know that I've achieved that goal when I walk away from it? And that's where, sort of those powers of our mind really come into play. Because once we've identified the goal and we visualized it, think about what achievement means, our brains kind of go to work to help us achieve those goals that we've set. And the final part of that little acronym P is the process. And so the process, as I talk to my kids about a lot, is how do you protect yourself from yourself? So sometimes we need to do some planning and some preparation and some of the processes even before we think about it. And I always say, you've got to prep your wingman or wing person, whoever that is. So if you're the one that's kind of got some anxiety around going to this family gathering, then perhaps you've got a spouse, you might have a sibling, you might have a cousin, who is it that perhaps could be your wing person? So is watching you and being able to either come in with some diversionary tactic, or can bring the conversation to another point, or can say, I think it's time we went home, or I think it's, I see so-and-so over there we haven't talked to yet. Let's go and have a conversation. So who is it that can kind of put that pause in the conversation that might not be going down positive paths to help you achieve your goal? So if they see your goal may be at risk, helping divert that, come to another tangent, another way of achieving the goal. So having a wing person is, I'd say, one of the keys to surviving and thriving during the holiday season.
Right. It's important that they help you with your exit strategy, get away from this conversation strategy. And my wife always gives me a goal going into family unions. And she says, Joe, don't make trouble. Don't make any trouble.
Yeah. And so, it's about how do you have those conversations ahead of time? And sometimes it's even about, limiting the alcohol intake, like making sure that, maybe you have a drink before you go to the family gathering, and then you just drink water all evening, so that you're not letting alcohol inhibit your good sense to not go down the rabbit hole or make trouble, as your wife says. Right. One of the other things that we often see happening in family gatherings is people sometimes are, they're a little bit more direct, and they're a little bit, more open to just, either pushing your buttons or asking questions that they wouldn't necessarily ask someone if they weren't a family member. And so sometimes we need to know, how do we stop those conversations from progressing if we, especially if we anticipate that they may not end on a happy note, or they may go down a path where we're not going to agree. And so what I also often encourage people to do is think about ways that you can respectfully stop that conversation by saying, I'm really interested in exploring this more with you. How about we talk about this next week, or we talk about this tomorrow, or tonight I really want to make sure that I have time to talk to everybody here, and I feel that this is going to take us a little bit more time to explore. How about we put this on hold and we pick it up tomorrow, or we pick it up next week? And whether that's an inappropriate conversation about, when do you get married, or when are you going to have a baby, or when is it, or something that's about the business, or when are you going to take over, or how come you're not making any money yet, or there's a whole litany of uncomfortable and inappropriate conversations at a family gathering that are business related. There's a whole bunch that are personal related, but knowing how you're going to nip those conversations in the bud, so you're polite, you're respectful, but you don't go down the rabbit hole.
Okay, great. And what would you say would be the big rock for our listeners to take away today?
Is think about your gap. Think about your goal, what achievement looks like, and what the process is that's going to help you achieve that goal.
A little bit of proactivity before the event.
Yeah.
Very good. And Laura, if someone wants to get in touch with you and know more about what you do, how can they do that? What's the best way to contact you?
Great. Thanks for Joe. We're on social media, so you can find us on LinkedIn or Facebook primarily. So connect with us, shoot us a message. Happy to respond there. You can also send me an email at laura@provisioncoaching.ca. And of course, you can find us on our website, where we've got links for you to book time for virtual coffee if you'd like.
Okay, great. We'll have the email and the website down below, written for everyone to see clearly. And I would encourage you to reach out to Laura. She's very easy to talk with and has a whole lot of experience, 115 years.
Yeah, got all kinds of stories.
Right, family business. Very good. Laura, thank you for being on the show. It was a pleasure speaking with you.
You're welcome. Thanks, Joe. Happy holidays.
Happy holidays.